Assalamualaikum. Welcome to this video tutorial on ASP.NET 4.5 for students at King Faisal University and for others who want to learn ASP.NET. This is part 6 in this series entitled Server Controls in ASP.NET 4.5. Server controls are like the building blocks of our ASP.NET web forms. They are the visible and non-visible items in our pages that live on the server. We've already used some server controls in parts 3 and 4 of this tutorial like label, text box, button, and calendar. We will try to look at some list controls and container controls in this tutorial. We've already seen that their tags are similar to this. The ID attribute uniquely identifies a control on the page. No control in a page should have the same ID. The run at attribute simply means that the control is run at the server. We will create an ASP.NET website and place it in CASP Activity 4 and 5, and we will create an ASP.NET web form called List Controls that contains the following, one on top of the other: a drop-down list, a label, a checkbox list, and 3 more labels. We will add 3 countries in the drop-down list and 3 font styles in checkbox list. The label object should monitor the selected value in the drop-down list and the checkbox list. We're ready to create our website. File, new website, and it should be in folder Activity 4 and 5. Okay, let's create our first web form, and we'll call it List Controls. Let's go to the design view and add our controls: a drop-down list, a label, press to enter keys, checkbox list, and 3 labels: 1, enter, 2, and press enter, and 3. Select again the drop-down list object, and you will see this small arrow like a greater than. Click it, and you will see the Smart Task panel. Click the edit items, and let's add the items that the user can choose. Let's start with Bahrain. We're going to add 3 countries. Click add, type KSA, again click add, this time Qatar. So we're done with the 3 countries. Don't forget to check the enable auto pause back. It causes the page to submit itself back to the server every time we choose an item in the list. Now we're going to make an event for the drop-down list. So just double click it, and you will go to this code behind whenever we select something from the items in the drop-down list. So whatever we select, we will put in the text property of label 1. So that will be equal to, let's try something like you selected, and then the value of the selected from the drop-down list 1 dot selected. You can choose selected item or selected value. Either of this will work. We will see the value or the item. Okay, now let's go back to our design. This time we will enter something for the checkbox list. So it's the same thing. Click edit items. We're going to add font styles. Let's put bold, italic, underline, format. The values will be either true or false. And again, don't forget to check enable auto pause back. So to create the event, the same thing. Let's double click it. So label 2, this will be for the first checkbox. So text is equal to, let's say, checkbox 0. Why 0? Because we are now talking about arrays. Plus, so we need that a checkbox list 1 that items 0. Now we are referencing an array element selected, but we have to convert it to string, so we have to put parentheses and type to string. Okay, so what are we doing here? So there are 3 elements in this checkbox. This one is the first element, the second element, and the third element. But because we are using an array, the index starts at 0. So this is the 0 element, the first element, and the second element. That's why here we refer to it as checkbox 0. We'll just copy it to refer to the other 2 elements. The second element, we'll put it in label 3 and then label 4. So this is element 1 and element 2. And they are actually the second and the third element. But since we started with 0, the third will have an index of 2. Okay, Kalas. Now we can try to look at the output in the browser. Okay, this is our drop-down list. If I select KSA, then there's a message in the label, you selected KSA. If I select Qatar, then you selected Qatar. If I check bold, then checkbox 0 is true, meaning it's checked. If I check italic, checkbox 1 is true, meaning it's checked, but underline is false. If I check underline, it will become true also. If I uncheck italic, it will become false. Good, well done. For activity number 5, we'll create another web form named Container Controls that contains 2 buttons on the same line and a panel below them. We will change the panel's back color to yellow, and we will let the 2 buttons control the visibility of the panel. Button 1 shows the panel, while button 2 hides it. Okay, we will now create our second web form for activity number 5, and we're going to call it Container Controls. We'll go to the design, we'll put 2 buttons, both on the same line, and under them is a panel, and we will change the back color of the panel to yellow so we can see it, and we'll just write something here. This is the panel. Okay. This button, we will change its text property to show, so that when we click it, we will be able to see the panel. And the second button, or button 2, we will change it to hide, so that it will hide the panel. So to create the event, let's double click the first one, button 1. Here, panel 1 must be shown. So to control that is the visible there, the visible property, it should be set to true. Let's go back to the design, and for the second button, to hide it, to hide the panel, again we have to call the object panel 1, and the property is visible is equal to, this time false. Okay, so let's try to see our web. If we click hide, it will show, and hide and show. We will continue with activity number 5 using wizard inside the panel with 4 steps. My name uses label and text box. My age uses also a label and a text box. My city uses label and drop down list. And the last is finished. Then we will display all the values at the end. Let's go back to our web form. This time we're going to use a wizard. So there's the wizard from the standard toolbar. Drag it to our panel. You can see again this smart task panel. Click add or remove wizard steps. The first step is about my name. We'll change the title to my name. And the step type will be the start type. The second one, we'll change the title to my age. And the step type, we're going to make it step. We'll add another step and we will call it my city. The step type is finish, and we'll add another final, or let's call it finish also. The step type is complete, and we'll click OK. So now we have the 4 steps. Let's try to make our wizard as wide as our panel. Okay, so for my name, make sure you click my name, put a label and a text box. Let's change the label text to name. Then click my age. Then again, select a label, change it to age, and put a text box beside it by dragging. Then click the step my city. Again, we'll put a label and we'll change the text property to city, and we will put a drop-down list. For our drop-down list, we will put three cities here in Saudi Arabia. Let's put Hopop, add again, Jeddah, add again, Riyadh. So these are the choices for the user. Click OK. Don't forget to check enable auto pause back, and then double click the finish. Okay, so what are we going to write here in the event? We have to set another label. Before we forget, we have to put another label. That's at the end of it. Okay, there's label. It's the name label 4. Okay, let's go back to the event. So label 4 will contain all the results of all our choices, and we will put it also in its text property is equal to, say, UR plus text box 1. This is for the name. Text box 1.text. This is the name of the user, the one that we entered first in the first step, plus see that we will put the age, and that age is in text box 2.text. So that's text box 2.text, correct, plus say years old, and from your city. The city will be from list box, sorry, from drop down list, from the drop down list one, that selected item or value, any of the two. Okay, I think this is the last. Let's try to see it in our browser. Okay, so you see this wizard, it has 3 steps. We started with the third one, we were not able to change it, so just please click the first one. Okay, that's my name, say Abdallah. Click next. Your age is 21. Next, and the city is Jeddah. Finish. So you are Abdullah, 21 years old, from Jeddah. Well done. Thank you for watching this video. Masalama.